Good afternoon, members. Welcome to this special meeting of Annandale and Eskdale Area Committee. This meeting is being recorded and the recording will be made available on our Council's website for public listening. Could I remind members to follow the good practice guidance, which includes muting microphones and switching off the video when you are not addressing the meeting. If you want to contribute to any item, you should write speak in the Teams chat function and you'll get invited to speak in that order. Should your question or issue be raised by a previous speaker, please withdraw your request so we can deal with the business as efficiently as possible. The usual standing orders apply, including that any votes will be undertaken by roll call, and if any member has to leave the meeting for a reason, can I remind you to either leave the Teams meeting for that period of time by putting leave in the Teams chat function and then join to let us know when you're back so we can monitor member presence. And I think I also have to approve the use of remote technology for participation if I've not done so already. So the first item is Sedgwick and apologies. Is it Tracy, are you here to provide details of Sedgwick and apologies, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Richard's just joined. So we've now got 9 members present here and I have apologies from Councillor Fairbairn and Councillor Tate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I think it's at this point I'm meant to agree participation for remotely. So do any members have declarations of interest? I can't see anything in the chat. I don't see any hands up, so I'll take that as a no.
Stephen, I want to Ian Carruthers, sorry, just it's with the phone. It's so I would probably say that I've been involved with R&D Centre for a number of years, so I'll declare that as an interest. I've helped them wherever I can on a number of occasions, but it's not such that I would leave the meeting, Chairman. I think it'd be safer to say that. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Ian. We can certainly note an interest, but not such that you would leave the meeting. Okay. So that takes us on to the minute of the previous meeting for 26th of May. This is for noting. Are we happy to note? It was actually approved at full council yesterday, I think, so it's just for noting.
Noted.
Okay, thank you. So item 4 is the Annandale District Day Centre Community Asset Transfer, former library, Charles Street, Annan. It's asking us to consider the community asset transfer request from Annandale District Day Centre for the former library at Charles Street, Annan. Jamie Nicholson, Ward Officer for Annandale South, is available with us today on Teams to assist with any questions. So is there anything you'd like to add, Jamie, just in terms of last minute information or anything?
Nothing to add, Chair. Thank you very much. Happy to take any questions on the report.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. And I can see Councillor Ian Carruthers' hand's going up straight away. So Ian?
Thanks, Chair. No, I'm really delighted to see this here, and thanks very much to yourself, Chair, and obviously all the officers that have been involved in this, calling the special meeting as you've outlined at the beginning. So it's good to see it's here and you can start to move on. But I mean, I've not really got much to add to what's within the report. I do support the recommendations as being option 2. We should grant it for community asset transfer, or at least recommend that to finance procurement transformation under those particular conditions. But I suppose the finance procurement transformation will make the final decision in regards to what conditions we do apply, but I'm not adverse at all to what's been recommended within the recommendations. I think it's a well-written report. Ultimately, it's been well put together as well, and I just appreciate the level of support that our officers have put into this and effort. Thank you very much, Chair. I would certainly recommend, and I wouldn't think we'll have to move the recommendations, but certainly support option 2, and we'll get a consensus on that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ian. I think we'll go through the recommendations. We'll get to the option when we get there. I don't think there was a question there so much from Councillor Carruthers, so I think we've got Councillor McClellan to speak next.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. Jamie, I was just wondering, it was page 15 at point 364, and I was just wondering what the content of that clause 71.1 where it therein negates the requirement for a clawback condition. I was just curious to that because I couldn't find the Constitution anywhere in the pack, and I'm just wary that when hopefully we approve this today, but when it moves forward to the next stage in the committee process, I would be astounded if there weren't questions round about that constitutional arrangement, because this is only just a statement from Property Estate and Programme that they've had sight of the Constitution, but we certainly haven't. So I was just wondering if you could maybe throw just a wee bit more clarity on that.
Like to, I'll just get that clause up for you within the Constitution, if that's okay, Councillor McClelland, and I'll be able to read that out of what that is actually entails, if that's okay. I'm happy to circulate the Constitution of the Day Centre if members wish to have a look over that full document.
I'm thinking, Jamie, that's maybe would be helpful for members of this committee, I think, because
Yep.
I was going to ask about that myself. But would that be okay, Henry? If you're able to pull it up just now, just for Councillor
I'm
McLaren.
just waiting on it loading, but I'm more than happy to
Right.
circulate it as well. It's just coming up.
Yeah, I think that would be ideal. I really do want to support this, but I just saw that maybe as a stumbling block at the next stage, Jamie.
Sorry, it's taken a little while to load.
I'm just sort of wondering, while that's loading.
I had a second point, Chair.
Yeah, on you go.
It was just an observation as well within the content of the business case. It was on page 35 where it's got local facilities, and in there it's stated in the report that Annan has 3 primary schools in the town. I think the children and parents of St Columbus might not be too chuffed because there is a 4th primary school, but that was just an observation.
Thanks, Henry.
So I have the dissolution clause up in front of me now, if members would like me to read that out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is it something that could be copied and pasted into the Teams chat, or is it, well, maybe that's, I don't know if that's going too far, but I don't know if you can extract from there, or if it's
Just
like a...
try as we speak.
Chairman, Ian Carter, I know we've had good guidance and advice in regards to this, and because it's been recorded and it will be publicised, I imagine will be live streamed as well, from what statement at the beginning of the meeting, that this stuff should really be shown on screen as well for the sake of members of the public that can see. I know in the past, I don't know if Jamie can share a screen or it maybe is more discreet and better. Tracy certainly, I think Tracy at a meeting earlier this week shared a particular, in fact she did it yesterday at full council, so I think she did it in plan as well, so it can be done, Chair, and just for the sake of being open and transparent, it's better to see, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if we're able to do that, then obviously I think in the interest of transparency, we should, providing it's not sort of breaching any confidentiality things, but I don't know if that's, do we have the technology?
If it's a constitution, Chair, it'll be under Oscar, so therefore there'll be no breach in confidentiality about that.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine so. So thanks, Archie. So I'm not sure how to actually get it up on screen from your end, Jamie. So
No, either am I. I can try sharing my screen.
Okay.
And
Jamie, sorry if I can interrupt, Chair. I think I have a copy of the Constitution, and I'm hoping it's the one that I've got on file, Jamie. So I'll pull up what I have on file, and if the words are different to the one that you have, if they've been amended, you can advise me. But I can certainly share my screen, and then you can maybe update members with regards to the information.
Sure.
If you just give me a moment.
yeah,
Yep.
this is exciting.
I was trying to copy it into the chat there, Chair. However, it wasn't giving me the option to do that.
All right, okay, not to worry. Oh, here we go.
And I'll zoom in to 28. So it's 71.1, wasn't it?
Yes. Here we go.
Oops.
I'll just make it a little bit bigger so members can see it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. So if I can hand over to Jamie.
Okay. So as you can see within that, the dissolution clause, members, that it clearly states that should in 71.1, if there's a winding up of the organisation, any property or assets remaining thereafter are satisfied for all of its debts and liabilities, such property shall be given or transferred to such other community body or bodies of a charitable group which has the purpose which resembles closely to the purpose of the organisation. So you can see, and this is determined by not less than 2/3 of the ordinary members of the organisation voting in person or in proxy at a general meeting called specifically, but not necessarily exclusively for the purpose. And obviously this is approved by Oscar.
Okay.
Can I come back, Chair?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, thank you. That's the type of dissolution clause that would have expected to see. So, yeah, thanks very much for sharing that, Stuart, Jamie. I'm happy.
Okay, thank you, and thanks for your technological adventures there. If we can maybe, I suppose, just for the benefit of completeness, get circulate a copy of that, and presumably anything going forward to, you know, depending on the outcome of today, if it goes to FPT, that's, I don't know if that'd be included as an appendix in any subsequent report, but we can get to that. I've got Councillor Marshall, Sean, next.
Yeah, really just the same as Ian to kind of support this, and I think it would be prudent to adopt option 2 as the recommendation going forward from the area committee. I think, just to comment, I think the ongoing success of the Annan Day Centre proves that it's kind of outgrown its current home at Victoria Halls and needs probably its own dedicated facility. And at the same time, it will bring in the library back into use, hopefully, and hopefully within a 2-year period. And also as well, it's quite timious as well, because at the Annan Regeneration Steering Group this morning, we agreed that we're about to embark upon a kind of major economic and community regeneration project for Victoria Halls, which would potentially include a dedicated youth facility element. So although we're losing the anchor tenant, I think that allows us the scope to look at what we can do with the Victoria Halls, but also gives us a little bit of an added incentive to get on with that project as well by losing the anchor tenant. So happy to go with the recommendation of option 2.
Thanks, Sean. I think it raised a question just about the common good nature of that as well. So obviously that's it's listed in the disbenefits in terms of the loss of the 7,000 annual income, but clearly that's part of a bigger master plan, if you like. So obviously that's quite welcome news for the area committee. So thanks for sharing that. I think I've got Councillor Brodie Richards up next.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, the dissolution clause is similar to lots of organisations, and it's good to be reassured on that point. Obviously, wishing Annan Day Centre all the best in their new project. It's taking a number of years to bring their ambitions to fruition, and really wish them well on their new journey. So good luck to them, and option 2 as I would support as well.
Okay, thanks, Richard. I can't see anybody else in the chat, and I can't see any other hands up, but no, Councillor Brodie again?
No.
Oh, you're just waving enthusiastically.
Waving enthusiastically, I'll put it off.
Okay, Councillor Dryburgh.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, and I agree with everybody else basically that option 2 is the way to go forward. But Jamie, if you can phone Bill Anderson at 2:30, that'll be fine.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that, actually. Okay, so I think, I mean, that allows us, I think, to go quite confidently to the recommendations. So number 1 is to consider the asset transfer request, which I think we've done. Number 2 is consider the outcome of the officer assessment in relation to the council's requirement to meet best value, which is set out in paragraph 3.6. I think we've done that. At 3, we're noting the outcome of the social value assessment of the proposed transfer as detailed in 3.3.7. We're happy to note that?
Noted.
Thank you. Thank you. And finally, recommendation 4, agree the preferred option, and I think what's coming through loud and clear is option 2, to be recommended to Finance, Procurement and Transformation Committee from the ones listed at 3.7. Are we happy to agree on that basis?
Agreed.
Thank you. And I think just the other point was just an action just to circulate the constitution for information. And with that, that concludes the business for today. So thanks very much for attending this special meeting. And hopefully the weather will improve a bit so we can have more of a summer than what it looks like at the moment.
Chair, can I remind people that the licensing board's on at 3 o'clock for those of the licensing board?
Yeah, just about to get in my car and drive to the next meeting. No, that's fine. That's fine, Archie. I'll see you there. So,
Archie, it's 4 o'clock in my diary. Don't confuse me.
What? Licensing board?
I know.
Licensing
Panel
board's
board.
3 o'clock.
Aye, panel is 4, I think. It's due to Senate government.
all right. Okay.
deal, aye.
I'm not on the board then, am I?
No.
No.
Yeah. Although you're very welcome.
Come on, Gail.
Right. Okay. No, that's before we get too sort of friendly and full of hilarity. I think we should close the meeting now. And thanks very much for your time and a safe onward journey.
Thanks,
Thanks
Stephen.
very much.
Jamie, can